So how you should be packing your pet portrait commissions to create a beautiful and secure experience for your customer. Hi, I'm Sema Martin. I'm a pet portrait artist too, and I have been for the last 10 years. And this is how I package my pet portrait commissions. So in here, I have got my pet portrait in a mount, in a sleeve. I will show you in a second. And then I've got all my inserts, and then I've got it in this really sturdy black box. So my artwork is on paper, not canvas, so I need to protect it as much as possible, especially when it's going overseas. So most of my clients are in the US, and I like to make sure that nothing's dented. It doesn't quite matter if this is slightly dented, as long as the artwork is okay. So I like to use these really sturdy boxes. I like to package them well with a beautiful ribbon, a sticker of my logo, like make it a nice experience. This black box then goes in bubble wrap. So I put it in like a bubble wrap sleeve, and then that bubble wrap goes into another box, and this is the actual shipping box that it is delivered in. So there's quite a lot of layers to the process to make sure that this comes securely to my customer's house. Now inside, let me show you what I've got inside. So that they would take off the ribbon. I do actually need to repack this for a customer. So inside I've got my insert. So I've got my little bio, my little business card. I do actually have a video all about the inserts as well, so you can go and check that out. My artwork care guide, certificate of authenticity here, and then the actual portrait itself I like to wrap in tissue paper, because who doesn't like to open a beautifully packaged portrait in tissue paper? I'll open this as well and show you. So you don't have to do the tissue paper thing, especially if you don't want to invest too much in your business very early on. But tissue paper isn't very expensive. I started doing this very early in I think this was like the second portrait that I ever got commissioned. I started using tissue paper, and I haven't stopped since, because it's just nice. It protects the artwork. It protects it from all of the inserts or anything going on, moving around. And it just is nice to open. It has a nice sound to it. So this is how I present my artwork, especially if they're not framed. I do normally frame, but some clients don't want me to frame it. They would rather frame it themselves. So I mount it. So this is a mount, or passe-partout, as is also called. And it also has a backing board. So it's sandwiched between this mount and a backing board, and that gives my paper full protection from any sort of creasing at all. And then it's in one of these cellophane sleeves. So I buy these sleeves separately, and I buy the mounts separately. So I mount it myself. I use acid-free tape. I can do a video on that as well, but I do have a full in-depth video on how to mount in the Business of Pet Portraits course. So I mount it in the mount, sandwiching between the two boards in a cellophane bag, and then I wrap that in tissue paper, put in my inserts, put it in the nice sturdy box, and then I also put them in the bubble wrap, and then the brown box. And that's how I package and send my artwork on paper. I think it's really important to protect your paper as much as physically possible. So it might seem like I've overdone it, but I don't think so. I've had instances where it's turned up at the customer's door covered in footprints. So they've obviously used the box as some sort of doormat. But when my client opened it, everything was fine. The actual portrait itself was still in perfect condition. Nothing was ruined. So I'm glad that I had all of these layers of protection. So especially when it's going overseas. as well, if you're doing oil painting or any other type of medium, just make sure it's well wrapped. Corners are protected. Corners are the things that damage first. So wrap your corners, protect those, protect the surface of your artwork. You don't want to have to do it again because you didn't protect it enough. If you're doing sculptures and key rings or something like that, again, wrap them up, protect the corners, protect everything, especially when it's going overseas. And make sure that in the whole custom stuff, you say it's got bubble wrap and tissue paper and all that kind of thing, so they don't go in and undo it all. I have had instances where they've literally taken things out of the frame. So I've professionally framed the artwork, sent it to the customer. Customs have decided that they want to check that parcel. They've taken everything apart. They've taken it out the frame. They've taken all of the tape off, and it was terrible. I can't believe they did that. It's just a picture frame. So I sort of walked through my client how to put it back together because I wasn't there. They're in America. And I also I bought and sent them some new framing tape so they could reframe it themselves. It was a very annoying situation, but these things happen and you have to be flexible and amenable to it. So just be prepared if that does happen with customs. Let your customer know and then walk them through the process of putting it back together or referring them to a framers or something so they could get it professionally done again. It's annoying, but it does happen. So yeah, that's how I professionally pack my artwork. Make sure that you professionally pack your artwork too, not just as a pretty way, but as a very secure, structured way. I do have a more full in-depth video on this as well in the Business of Pet Portraits course, and you can click the link below to download your free prospectus now, which is a pamphlet, a booklet, to learn all about the course. And I will see you next time. Bye!